branch of service that you were in?
I was in, we landed, in the third wave. We landed on Omaha Beach, right next to Utah Beach. And I went from there to, I went through France, southern France, middle France, and northern France. I was awarded 2 battle stars for France alone.
And you were in the Army?
I was in the Army infantry.
For World War II?
Yeah.
And can you please tell me your rank?
I was sergeant. I got busted.
And again, you said you served the European theater?
I served in the whole European theater from beginning in Omaha Beach till we met the Russians on the Yoba River, 14 miles from 14 miles from Germany's capital. I can't think of it. No, I tell you, I'm getting old. I'm just going to say it.
Are you still thinking of the capital?
Yeah, the capital.
It's not Munich, is it? I should know this too. I don't. Is it Munich?
Huh?
It's not Munich.
No, no. It's Berlin.
Berlin. How could we?
Yeah, Berlin. We were 14 miles from Berlin, and Eisenhower stopped us and said, "You wait for the Russians." We waited 2.5 weeks to meet the Russians. They finally tied up, you know. And we were told to stop, wait, let the Russians take Berlin. Let them, they said you can lose, you can lose 150,000 to 170,000 alone taking Berlin. They let Russia take Berlin rather than us losing,
a lot of life.
right, losing more men than we have.
Now, were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted just before, like I said, being drafted. They were taking the 18-year-olds, 19 and 20. And I forget. It wasn't long after that. It was right after. I said, I'm going in anyway. I didn't have to go in because I worked for a short time to help my mother, because my mother lost her. My father was, my father passed away when I was 4 years old.
Right. We
lost everything during the Depression.
And this was at East Haven? That's where you were living at the time?
Yeah, I was in the hospital in New Haven, and we were living in East Haven then. Yeah, on a farm. We had the farm.
Yeah.
We lost, like I say, because of the Depression. And
now, why did you decide to join?
I love my country. I love my flag. That's why I joined. I said, if everybody's going to stay in the rear, how are you going to stop them? How are you going to stop the Germans? You can't look at them. You got to fight them. Yeah. I was willing to fight. A lot of people call me crazy, stupid. I was called a lot of names.
You did a very honorable thing. Yes, you did. Now, why did you pick the branch of service that you ended up joining?
And because I was a good shot.
Yeah.
I knew I could, I could shoot.
Yeah.
I could drop you at 500 yards with my M1.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm blind here now.
Yeah.
They push me to heavy weapons because I'm left-handed.
Are you lefty?
I'm a lefty.
I'm lefty too. Southpaw, huh?
Southpaw.
Yeah.
And
no, okay. Yeah.
Like I say, when I use my southpaw shooting, in the bullseye, no problem. They want to teach me to shoot right-handed.
Did you shoot righty?
Yeah, I tried like heck, but I was getting Maggie's jaws.
Yeah.
That shooting, I couldn't. And they were afraid that the action bar would break if I shot left-handed, take my face out.
Yeah.
So they shoved me in heavy weapons, machine gun.
Huh.
And that's where I was in D Company.
In
Dog Company, 1st Battalion, 329th Infantry Regiment.
Do you recall your first days of service?
Yes, training. Oh yeah. The second day, the captain walked into the lunch. What do you call it?
The mess hall, the chow.
The mess hall.
Yeah.
I couldn't even think of that. The mess hall. We jumped up, and he turned around and looked at all of us, and we were all young.
Yeah.
And he said, "Welcome to the 83rd, rather the 75th. I'm sorry, it's the 75th Infantry."
Right.
And he says, "You're in the infantry." He says, "That's the first line, of defense for this country." And you might as well learn that, what the infantry really is. A lot of them didn't understand.
Yeah.
I knew what the infantry was, but a lot of them didn't. And he says, "Welcome." He says, "You're gonna," I think I'm mixed up. "You're gonna fight in mud, you're gonna live in mud, and you're gonna die in mud."
This is the first things they told you?
That second or third day, they told us in the cafeteria or the mess hall. Yeah, the captain did.
What did it feel like when you were first transitioning to the military life?
Didn't bother me. I did more push-ups than the whole company. I was doing 50 and still going, and they said stop. I was the only one. But physically, I have a picture, but I don't want to show you now. I was physically fit.
Were you athletic at all in high school? Did you play sports at all in high school, or you?
I couldn't. They broke my arm. I tried for the paratroopers incident.
Oh, really?
They rejected me. 12 stitches. Basketball.
Oh, yeah.
In high school, yeah. Kid hit me when I was going for a push-up and went down. My mother had to wind up paying $352. Back then, it was a fortune then. They didn't have insurance the way they have today. Everything's so easy and nice. They don't know how tough it was back then.
Through the Depression.
Yeah.
Now, could you tell me a little bit about your boot camp and your training experiences? We had to go through machine gun, barbed wire, and climb walls, climb the rope up and down, run. We never walked. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you ran everywhere, except Saturday and Sunday. But before even we ate, we were doing exercises with the rifle, Right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Do you remember your instructors?
I can't remember the captain, no. I cannot. I know he was a big fella, and that Lieutenant Turner was our judo instructor, my lieutenant. Yeah. And he was great.
Yeah.
He could take 4 guys. Believe me, if one goes there, one goes there, they go flying. Yeah. He's standing there. So our captain, I can't think of his name, he was a big fellow and he was from Duke University. And he said, the fellow said, "Well, why don't you take on the captain?" Because the captain was about 6'3", 6'4". He was a big guy. Yeah. And he played football for Duke.
He played for Duke?
And so the lieutenant was my size. He's only 5'7", not 5'7" now, because you get shrink. Yeah. I was 5'7", 5'8". And the lieutenant was about the same, 5'7", 5'8". He weighed 155 pounds. Yeah. So the captain come at him. I don't know how the hell he did it. He used the captain's weight. That's what he does. Right. And flipped the captain. Captain went over, landed on his back, knocked the wind out of him.
Did he get right up? Or
he got right up. Clearly, and he said, "See, you don't have to be afraid of anybody." Yeah. That lieutenant.
Now, how did you get through it?
I don't know what you-
Basic training and all that.
Oh, no trouble.
No trouble at all.
No. No trouble at all.
Now, again, which wars did you serve in? You served in World War II.
What?
You served in World War II,
Yeah.
correct?
I went in World War II in March of 43, and because of my awards, a Purple Heart, Silver Battle Star equivalent, and 5 Bronze Battle Stars, and 2 Purple Hearts, and the BSM. I was awarded 109 points I had altogether. All you needed to go home was 85.
Yeah.
So I had 109. So I only spent two years and 10 months in the service. But because of these,
Right.
I went home. And this general on TV, he said of all the medals and Presidential Unit Citation and all, he was a Congressional Medal of Honor and 3-star general.
Right.
He said this, the wreath around that gun,
Yeah.
that's combat. He said, I respect this combat than any other medal I have.
Yeah.
He said, that is where, you know, that's what war is, right there, in the infantry.
Now, can you tell me more specifically where you went when you were serving?
Where I went? Well, I mean, from the beginning,
Yeah.
all right, I finished basic training. We were ordered to go down to maneuvers, and we drove down to maneuvers. And incidentally, I also passed the driving test.
Okay.
They give you a combat driving test, or the peeps. We call them peeps. They were jeeps,
Right.
and I passed that too.
And where was basic training again? Where was basic training?
In Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Fort Leonard Wood.
It's still in operation today.
Correct. And, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. So you got approved or for driving the Jeep?
Oh yeah, yeah. You had to pass quite a test.
Yeah.
One was reflexes.
Right.
In other words, it's a heavy weight. They put it up here, and they give you a thing. And they drop that,
Right.
and you got to pin it before that thing even hits you. If that thing drop and hits you, you're no good. Never mind if you can double clutch. The trouble is back then, it's not like today, and they drive it so damn easy. You got so many cars on the road, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's dangerous out there today, real dangerous,
There's a lot of
because too many cars.
Yeah.
These roads are only built. I shouldn't be talking this with this. You shut it off.
Are they in here?
No, it's going on. It's being recorded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What are we gonna be?
Oh, you
I
want?
could always cut it out if you'd like me to cut out a certain
Oh,
part.
yeah. Well, those roads are only made for 55 miles an hour.
Right.
The Parkway, the Wilbur Cross Parkway.
Yeah.
That's the exact copy of the German Autobahn.
What
Yeah.
the Merritt?
Huh?
The Merritt Parkway?
The Merritt Parkway
Really?
is exactly like the German Autobahn.
Really?
They're the first ones that made a highway all the way through the country.
Yeah.
The Autobahn in Germany goes all the way through, and we copied it, the Wilbur Cross Parkway.
Wow. Now, do you remember
no.
arriving in Europe and what it was like?
Oh, in Europe? Oh, I was going to tell you about.
Well, you could absolutely continue back at basic.
Oh,
Yeah, and then move your way onward to Europe. Right.
well, you want to talk about Europe?
Either or, if you want to continue talking about the.
Well, we pulled maneuvers,
Yeah.
and we drove down. We drove in a vehicle. I was the check vehicle because I did so well in the test. I could double clutch.
Yeah.
And I was a better driver than even the fellow that was the corporal. The captain always used me.
Yeah.
Take me, and I was always going. But I drove since I was young in my brother's car. And we finished basic training, And then from basic, we went to Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Is where we pulled maneuvers for 3 months, 3.5 months. And during that maneuvers there, we lost 8 men that drowned.
In training?
In training.
Wow.
They were drowned. We had to cross the Sabine River, and the Sabine River was a flash flood. Yeah, snow, rain, and everything, you know, in the winter. And because we were down there in January.
Yeah.
And evidently with the gear, 50 pounds on their back, plus the rifle, 10 pounds, 11 pounds. I was told we lost, you know, out of the division, we lost 8 men.
Wow.
I don't know anything about it. I was just told that. So. Then from there, we worked back. I went from Camp Polk, Louisiana.
Right.
That was a hellhole. I should say that.
That's okay.
And then we went back up to Ritter, Texas. From Texas, we went to Virginia. Virginia was funny.
In
This is
Virginia?
all before D-Day now.
Yeah.
So we went to Virginia. First they call us up 3 in the morning. You wake up, go to the supply sergeant, get your khakis, get your mosquito bar,
Yeah.
you know, so forth. So you could read that, you know, mosquito netting. I figured we were going Pacific.
Yeah.
The Pacific was,
Yeah.
so then from there we went to another camp in New York. From there we went down to New Jersey, where in New Jersey was Camp Kilmer, New Jersey. From there we were quarantined, and we didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
We were getting ready to go overseas. In Kilmer, they told us to turn all our mosquito bar back, our summer clothes, khakis and everything. We were getting winter clothes, ODs. That was ready for D-Day.
Okay.
We didn't, you know, it wasn't started yet or anything. So. And I went over on the the Amsterdam. It was a Holland ship, but English manned.
Okay.
And
So the English were
we're running the ship.
running the whole thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were good, thank God.
Yeah.
Because we were all alone, we had no support. And we were crossing the Atlantic.
Mhm.
Submarines were chasing us. They came down the speaker, smoking lamp out, no cigarettes, all lights out and everything, you know.
The German subs?
Yeah.
Wow.
The wolf pack was chasing us.
Wow.
And we were alone. Thank God it was no sun, or no moon rather. No moon. You gotta forgive me for my age.
You don't have to apologize.
And it was dark, so he would cut the motor. No motor, nothing, you know. Because they're looking for that ping, ping, ping. That's what they have on the submarines to
Yeah.
find they're hitting something solid, in other words, you know. But he kept backing up, going forward, backing up the ship, going forward, backing up, going forward. Thank God those 3 days they chased us with very little moon. Thank God. Otherwise, I think they would have picked us off if it was a moon. But I wound up in Glasgow, Scotland.
In Scotland.
Scotland.
How long was the boat ride across the Atlantic?
The Atlantic, a little better than 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, two weeks and 3 days, something like that.
Were the seas rough?
Not too bad going over, but I can tell you something about rough coming back.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Oh,
Was it fast?
oh man, you'd be surprised. Unbelievable, the Atlantic.
Oh.
And so from Glasgow, we went up to North Ireland, because Ireland was neutral.
Yeah.
We got to neutral, then we wound up in England.
Okay.
We went to London,
Right.
where the Germans were bombing, strafing, burning, and thank God they didn't hit our train, you know. Usually that's what they're looking for with the when the Stuka bombers are called. They come right down on you, and the Germans, you know, and strafe you with 50 caliber bullets, plus 20 caliber on the, they had on, not 20, but yeah, 20 something. We had 20 calibers on the nose of the plane, the P-51s. And we managed to I wound up in England next to an airstrip where the English were flying the channel,
Right.
landing, gassing up, patching up the planes. And who do we see come out? PFCs, corporals, sergeants. Yeah, they were flying the planes.
Wow.
Yeah.
The English
Plus,
guys.
some of our guys were flying the planes too,
Yeah.
but they were lieutenants.
Right.
You know. So then we got moved to Quonset huts,
Okay.
and then from the Quonset huts they moved us to Taunton, England, is where we were, right next to the channel.
Okay.
And below us was Plymouth, where the main body of you know, the invasion was
Right.
planned. So we waited till we, you know, went over, and I landed on Omaha Beach from the ship, and you know, from Omaha, Utah. First town I hit was Carentan. Second town we hit was Angiers. Third town was Saint Servan and Saint Malo. I remember that. Down to the Brest Peninsula. We swung up the other way. My commander here in Cheshire, I belong to the Veteran of Foreign Wars,
Okay.
and he had a map. I can't find it now. I don't know where it is, what my wife did with it, but it's gone anyway. But he saw where we went all the way up.
Yeah.
And we fought all the way through to Belgium. We fought through to Luxembourg. We fought through Luxembourg. We went into Germany. Germany, and we then from there, all this is going on month after month. In January, November, I told you about, they didn't order the winter clothes. We fought in summer clothes, 0, 2 below, 5 below, and we were freezing our feet. I was in the bulge, and I was they shooting what they call tree burst. It's something that most people don't know about. The Germans were heading their artillery, the 88s and the mortars. They had bigger mortars than we did. We had two type mortars, 61 millimeter and 81 millimeter. And they were hitting the trees, and the branch came down and hit me in the back. I thought I was hit.
A branch
You know?
hit, yeah.
Yeah, the branch was like that. Whacked me in the back.
Did it knock you down?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right. And well, I was on the ground because they were shelling us anyway.
Right.
But when the trees, you know, shrapnel came down, but I thought I was hit. But the fellow right next to me, he was in a foxhole and C Company, I don't know his name. He got it in the back.
Yeah.
He's, you know, putting his head down, shell ripped all the way to his back, all around. But you could see the feces all over. So I was crawling on the ground. I said, told one of the fellows they were helping, I said, get his rifle down there. He's a rifleman. Yeah. And he was in C Company, and they put his rifle, stuck it in the ground, took his helmet. This way they know that there's a dead soldier there.
Put a helmet on over his.
Yeah, to acknowledge that he was, you know, he was gone. He gave one moan. That's all I heard. And I was calling medic, medic, medic. You know, came, but then they got me, put me on a stretcher, and
This is after you were hit with the branch?
Huh?
This is when you got hit by the branch? When
the
medic came?
branch and my feet.
Yeah.
I got hit in the ankle, shrapnel, but I was lucky because the shrapnel hit the Jeep, the bevel edge of the Jeep. The way it was, the Jeep's the bottom here,
Right.
then there's a thing there, and over here, there's like a flange all the way through, and that was that thick steel or iron. And it went through that, and then it caught me here, but it wasn't bad. I was lucky the Jeep thing, the beveled edge, saved my ankle. Otherwise, I would have torn
Yeah,
my
that would've
ankle
went
right
through.
off. You know. But that's when we found I had frostbite. My feet were all blistered and so forth.
Yeah.
Once they got my shoe off, never in a million years. My feet were frozen. I was walking on stumps.
Yeah.
We marched 100 miles in the snow with summer clothes on to get into the boat. People don't know what hell is. That you can, you're in the summer clothes, you're fighting in zero weather, below zero. When you get in the foxhole and you're lying down, you wake up in the morning, you got 8, 10, 12 inches of snow on you.
Rough like that.
Day after day, week after week, month after month. Any more questions?
Absolutely. Now, could you tell me a little bit more about your job assignment?
What a job it's
Your job assignment when you were over there? Can you tell me a little more
over
about
there? Yeah. I was, I'd say, a combat driver, and I also was a machine gunner. And because they had the heavy machine guns, and there's no action bar here,
Yeah.
that's why they put me in there, because I wouldn't have to worry about my face being shooting left-handed.
Right.
And that's why they put me in heavy weapons D company. And I did both, machine guns and driving, both.
Right.
So,
We were talking about your job assignment.
yeah.
Do you want to continue? I'm sorry if we got interrupted when you came in. Tell me a little bit more about it, or you think?
The reason I got the BSM was we went down, we got pulled off the line, and another division replaced us because we were fighting. I can't remember, 2 months, I can't remember.
Right.
Long time anyway. We were hungry anyway.
Yeah.
We finished all our C rations, K rations. So we were getting pulled back, and we were ordered, and I was told to go with them, the drivers, because I always had my M1 with me. I love that gun.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. And so we went to back in the rear, right? You're back in the safe, 2-3 miles.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, when we pulled up and all, we heard shooting up on the hill of the farm, and that was about 200 yards away from the kitchen. But we can hear this machine gun, We know what a German machine gun sounds like.
Right.
The kitchen didn't. They're nowhere near action, They're
Right.
safe. So the guns were rattling, so we said, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going on? So Broughton grabbed the light machine gun,
The M1?
Yeah, no.
Or the,
M1 is a rifle.
And
This
then
is a air conduit, it's a light machine gun. It's an air-cooled machine gun.
Really?
Yeah, it's got holes in it, so the air.
Handheld, or it's on a?
You can hold it.
Yeah.
It's about 30 pounds, so you can pick it up.
How many rounds could it let off?
I can't remember. I think one case of ammo is about 250 rounds.
And it continuous?
Yeah, continuing machine gun, yeah. So I took 2 cases, and I put my M1 and took a bandolier of ammunition for me and grabbed these things, and so there's 3 of us in there getting the kitchen stuff they're supposed to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this interceded. So Broughton, he said, let's get the hell up there. And we turned around, we told the kitchen guys, you better get your goddamn carbines, because that's a German machine gun. They were all shocked. They never heard of a machine gun or anything, but we know.
Yeah.
So we went up, the 3 of us, we firefight. We had a fight. In our day, we called it a skirmish. Today, they call it firefight.
Right.
So we went up there. We started a fight engagement, and his name was, I can't think, Eaton. I can't remember his name. Yeah, but they called him Skeezick. And Broughton and I. Broughton had the machine gun here, and I rolled over here. They were shooting at me, drawing the fire.
And you had the light machine gun at the time?
No, I didn't. Broughton did.
Broughton did.
I had my M1, and I was rolling over and shooting. And it wasn't that far, maybe 70 yards.
You're coming in with the tank?
No tanks.
Oh,
No.
they were just on the horizon.
They were paratroopers. Paratroopers jumped behind the line.
Yeah.
And they cut communications off, and they kill as many as they can, providing they got to get out. So I can't remember his name. They call him Skizik, their nickname. Anyway, he was killed. He got one or two out, one through the chest, the paratrooper. We didn't know how many we were going against. Just blind. You walk in. You never know when you're going to bump into a German. So we started to fight, and we kept fighting. Then one of them raised a white flag with the rifle, their gun, raised.
A German did?
Yeah. They raised a white flag. We got up. They couldn't believe there were 25 paratroopers there.
Yeah.
25. We killed 13 and captured 12. They surrendered,
Yeah.
Hands in the hole, Mark and Schnell. In other
So
words,
when they
like
put the white flag up, that meant that they were done.
surrendering. White flag means surrender. We abided by the Geneva Treaty.
But so you held them prisoner?
They get down. They shuttle them down to battalion to regiment, regiment to division. They get interrogated.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what we can get for information. But 3 of us took on 25 paratroopers.
Wow.
And wound up with 2. But meanwhile, the first sergeant, and this is after the fight now, right? The first sergeant was coming up. I don't know why the kitchen must have told him, there's fighting up there.
Yeah.
And the lieutenant, his name was Lieutenant Wilkie. He come from Boys Town, and he was wounded. Shrapnel, they opened up on us with 88s, and we all hit the ground, Broughton and I, and so did the German soldiers.
How were their shots, the German shots, the paratroopers, did they have a good shot too? Did they put up a good fight, in other words?
Well, they tried. We, like I say, we killed 13, and the other 12 surrendered. So. And we told them in German, hands to hoe, Mark and Schnell. In other words, hurry up, keep your goddamn hands up, or we'll kill you. Yeah. So they did, One of them came up to me, and I don't have the medal now, but he was decorated. It had a round wreath with the German swastika hanging on an eagle. A lot of people don't know what the swastika means. Our good luck rabbit?
Yeah.
Or 4-leaf clover?
Yeah.
That's it. The same thing means to the Germans as swastika.
Under Hitler.
Good luck.
Yeah.
That's that German sign. That's what it means. And for that, we captured 12 and we killed 13, and only 2 of us left. So the lieutenant was wounded and the first sergeant was killed. So we had 2 guys killed, 1 lieutenant wounded. Broughton and I didn't get a scratch. That's where I got the BSM. 3 take on 25.
That's a story. That's something else. Now, that was just one of your combat experiences. Could you tell me a little bit more about other combat that you may have saw?
Oh God, one after the other. I couldn't. So many. From one country after another, you keep,
Were there?
You're so tired. You have no patent. Like when he swung us into the bulge. The people know it as the bulge, but it's really the Ardennes.
Yeah. The
Ardennes for us. And we fought through Hurtgen Forest. Hurtgen was a hell of a fight. The 1st Infantry got wiped out badly. That was a crack division. The 1st Infantry, Big Red One they call it.
Yeah.
And we took their place. And it came on the radio. Berlin Sau got into the radio thing, we don't know how. But he said, welcome, 83rd Thunderbolt. We all looked at each other, the captain,
Yeah.
the few of us that were with him. And they says, welcome to the Ardennes Forest. We just knocked the hell out of your crack #1 division.
Yeah.
You're next.
Huh.
How do you like that? We weren't even engaged in yet.
Yeah.
But we got in there and we kicked it.
Yeah.
We kicked the hell out of them.
Were they not prepared, or you just overpowered them?
No, well, we were prepared.
Yeah.
They were prepared, but we were goddamn good.
Yeah.
83rd Thunderbolt was one of the good divisions over there.
Yeah.
We fought in the Hurricane, and we got through with the Hurricane, and the Hurricane was one of the big major battles, and town after town, after a while, it's just like repetition. You keep moving, and then finally the Bulge.
Yeah.
And Patton swung the army without his army without Ike's permission. But then he told Ike later, Ike said, give your men a break, they just come off the line. He said, my men can do it. He said, I engaged them already.
Yeah.
The Third Army is moving in to the Bulge to stop it, That was a hell of a thing that Hitler pulled. Hitler was negotiating for a more peaceful term.
Really?
You know what the Germans did to the Jewish?
I could.
You know,
No, I do. Yeah.
6 million. They burned.
Yeah.
They cremated them. 6 million.
Disgusting.
And you should see some of them in the camps. The prisoners, the Germans, the Jewish.
Yeah.
They weren't fed hardly. They were so skinny you wouldn't believe it. Unbelievable.
Disgraceful. What they did is inhumane. They were communists. I mean, that's why we went in there and fought them. It's absolutely terrible. You said there was moving on. You said there was casualties in your unit. Were there many of them besides casualties in the unit? Besides that one fight.
This general on TV, a lot of us were killed. A lot. I never believed the number they gave. They said, what did they say? 486, I heard.
Out of your
A lot
unit?
of baloney. Nowhere, a lot more. And
Yeah.
they finally admitted it on TV. This general, he retired, 3-star, and he says, those figures were wrong. They lied. They lied about the Navy, the Army, the infantry. They lied about the Air Corps. They lied about the Marines.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a lot more than what they're saying, The infantry is the queen of battle.
Yeah.
There's no other unit, and no other unit, they said, that lost more men, and more men were wounded and crippled than any other unit in the war.
Wow.
Because infantry is number one. We faced the Germans.
Yeah. You were
The Air
ground.
Corps don't.
No.
They just drop the bombs and go. Artillery, they shoot. They don't know what they're shooting at. Right? But the infantry, hello,
Yeah.
hello, brother German, and we're here and they're there.
Yeah. You face to
Yeah.
face with them.
All right.
Now, can you tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences?
Well, that was one of them.
Yeah.
And the Ardennes, I shot at the first jet plane. I jumped on a 50 caliber Jeep. It was both
It was a
to the
German
Jeep.
jet?
And this jet, first plane, jets. As I say, the German people are so smart,
That's a jet
unbelievable. They changed the world.
then? Yeah.
When you really look at it, Germany changed the world with technology.
Right.
And this jet, I see a little spot. I'm looking, to opening to the trees. We were in the Hurricane Forest.
Right.
This goddamn thing come down.
How low was it?
Holy crap, he almost touched the treetops. He was that low. I ran, jumped on the Jeep. Boy, I was shooting that goddamn thing,
Did you
trying
get
to
it?
hit him. I don't know if I hit him or not. Boy, I hope. I would have loved to seen him, you know.
How big was it? The jet airplane.
You
in
couldn't even
comparison to
see. It was so fast. He was going over 500 miles an hour.
Those full throttle.
Full throttle, maybe even more.
Yeah.
But they were then, this 500 were our P-38 planes. The fastest one was a P-38. That can go 453 miles an hour, from what I've been told.
Wow.
And this jet can run circles around them. But thank God, Hitler trying to run his own army,
Yeah. That was their demise.
he stopped
Yeah.
making those jets. Thank God.
He stopped making them.
He stopped making the jets. And he went into the B-1 and B-2s, I told you, that bombed the hospital, broke the windows and everything.
Yeah.
They were throwing him in Belgium, they were throwing him in Luxembourg, they were throwing him all over. And you ought to see the way they hid the guns. The Air Corps could never catch them.
No.
You know, they'd shoot them. They would run tracks right out, take the guns, the 88s, from a mountain.
Right.
They were under the mountain, in the mountain, in other words. They were hiding.
Yeah.
And they roll them out, shoot, 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 roll them back. And the planes kept looking.
Yeah.
They were hiding on them. They were awesome on the Autobahn. Instead of being on airstrip and airfield, they'd be on the Autobahn off the roads, camouflaged.
Huh.
The fighter planes, the ME-109s.
Wow.
Yeah, smart.
Now you were not prisoner of war, correct?
Huh?
You were not a prisoner of war.
Damn close.
Yeah.
I nearly got captured in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
One of the sergeants that was, maybe from there, he was captured. And I was surprised too,
And
because
you one of your sergeants?
Huh?
One of your sergeants?
one of our sergeants, yep,
Oh wow.
and he was a big fella, he was a good 6 foot, but he captured one of the pistols, and the P-38 it was, the German pistol, and he took his .45 out and stuck the P-38, and that was a no-no. He says, never put a German gun on there, because when the German soldiers see it, they know you had to kill a soldier
Yeah.
to get it,
Yeah,
you know.
That makes sense.
And most likely it was a lieutenant or something, you know.
Right.
So, but I couldn't believe it. After the war, he shows up. I couldn't believe it, you know. I said,
Yeah.
Jesus, Sarge, how the hell did you stay alive with that goddamn P-38 in your holster?
Yeah.
He says, I bribed you. And then he's captured him, put him in the... He bribed him. He says, I gave him my ring, I gave him my watch. That's how he did it.
How long was he a prisoner of war?
Quite a while, because he was about 180 pounds.
Yeah.
And when he showed up and he got released, you know,
Right.
and the war was over, he weighed about 140.
Wow. He lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, so did I. I started at 139, 140 pounds when I went in service.
Right.
I come home 117 pounds.
Wow. You guys did a lot of walking.
A lot of walking
A lot of walking
and no food. We kept pushing the Germans so fast that the kitchen couldn't keep up, because they had to set up the tent so far and all that. So this is why.
What did they cook in the kitchen? Was it just the rations they would cook up, or the kitchen would actually make hot food?
They would actually make, if you're back in the rear and getting fed and you have a week off and you have to get the soldiers that were killed or injured,
Right.
you know, wounded,
Yeah.
they had to be replaced.
Yeah.
So, but with them being replaced, you have to train them for at least that week
Yeah.
to work as a unit, you know.
Yeah.
And this is what we had to do. So, I had people walk, when I was discharged in Fort Devens, Mass, they walked right by me. They knew me, right? They're
This
only
is
a
when you
block
were discharged, or this
Huh?
is when you were back home?
back home when I was discharged.
Right.
Yeah. They walked right by me. They couldn't, you know. Then they turned around, Ed, you know.
Yeah.
I said, hi. Oh my, and then they keep quiet.
Yeah.
That's how bad I looked when I got home.
We'll definitely talk a little more about that in a little bit. But could you tell me about the medals or the citations that you were awarded? If you want, we could show it on the camera if you'd like to show it. That should be in view. And we have 2 Purple Hearts.
Yeah.
The Bronze Star.
Yeah.
This is the State of Connecticut Service Medal.
This is the Silver Battle Star. Here.
Right.
You can't see it.
I could see it. Yeah.
And next to it is an arrowhead. We spearheaded the drives for the 1st Army, 3rd Army, and 9th Army.
Right.
The 83rd Division. This is for good conduct. I don't know why. For combat, I guess, or in the States, I don't know. Most of these are.
And then this right here is for.
That's the rifle. It's on the sheet there. It's marked about 25, 24, something like that.
Right.
But the Purple Hearts are marked 11. This is marked 10 from the top, out of the 60. So those 50 medals below these.
Right.
You know.
And then the presidential.
That's a presidential unit citation from the President Roosevelt. Yeah.
That's quite the achievements that you earned. Moving onward. How did you stay in touch with your family?
I got a V letter. I say there's more to this. They had all our letters and stuff were censored.
Right.
Everything was censored because they didn't want to get information back home.
Right.
Used to be a saying that a loose lip can sink a ship.
Yeah, that's true though.
Right.
Somebody
Yeah.
intercepted
Right.
that. And they
Yeah.
give away your location.
Incidentally, today it's different with CNN. I had control of all the news back then. He controlled the news because they were afraid that the news people don't realize when they're talking what they're giving away as information that could hurt us.
Right.
More killings and all that.
Right.
And I don't know if you know this. Did you know that we broke the German code?
Well, we could talk. I'm not too familiar about it. I'm not too familiar.
The German code was so complicated, they felt that no country in the world could break that code.
Right.
That's what they thought. Well,
Yeah.
they were wrong. That's what helped us.
Yeah.
Really helped us win the war. Many people don't know this. This is very hush-hush.
So they sent messages coded in secret, and our sources were able to decode it.
Yeah, 2 people. One from England.
Yeah.
And one from this country got together in England.
Right.
And they worked together, and they broke it. Kept it quiet. We knew where the Germans were going to be. We were ready for them. That's what helped us win the war. People don't know that.
I did not know that first.
A lot of people don't. Not only you.
Now, we could talk a little more about the food. What was that like over there?
Oh, God. Dehydrated eggs.
K rations, C rations.
Cold coffee and you had a burmite. You light it with a match. Because most of us smoked. A lot of us chewed tobacco.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys smoked cigars.
Yeah.
We all smoked because there's no warning like it is today,
Yeah.
I tell you.
And they gave you cigarettes too, right?
They gave us, but I shouldn't maybe tell you this. There was a colonel back in the rear. We had a name for the fellows in the rear compared to us.
In the rear as in lower down? Or?
Well, the rear is the fellows that supply, so forth, whatever. We call them rear echelon commandos. You know what a commando is?
Yeah.
So we told them they fought the war, but in the rear.
Right. Now, did you guys have plenty of supplies?
We ran out of ammo.
Really?
Yeah, on the Siegfried line between Luxembourg, and Germany, and they were hitting us on the helmet, you know, with the gun. He said, "Make it count." He said, "What the hell do you think we're trying to do?"
Were they able to resupply you
Yeah,
pretty quick?
yeah, pretty quick. Thank God the Germans never found out. Oh man, they could have wiped us. Could have wiped us out.
Did they airdrop in
Huh?
more ammo?
No,
Or
no,
they had it,
no.
They,
They
had
brought it,
trucks?
shuttled in. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow, it's a good thing they didn't.
yeah.
get on to that. That would have been.
Yeah, it's about a day. It's not even a day. Yeah.
Now, did you feel pressure or stress at all when you were overseas?
What?
Did you feel pressure or stress at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was discharged. I had 40%.
Wow.
40% post-traumatic stress syndrome,
Right.
and now I'm much better.
That's good.
I'm 10%.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, was there something that you did for good luck at all? Was there anything you did for good luck at all?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And I don't know if I should tell you. My mother told me something. She's from Europe. So I'm a Lithuanian, incidentally.
Right.
And that's where Napoleon got beat.
Yeah.
Napoleon stopped in Lithuania. The winters are so rough, so cold. The trees used to burst, to snap. That's how cold it was. So Napoleon turned around, got in his carriage. His soldiers were left there. They froze to death, and he went back. But they captured him, got him, and put him in the what's that island? St. Helena. He was one of those islands in prison.
Right.
Napoleon, you know.